Welcome back to this live trading session, traders, for the first week of March 2026, for the second day of the trading here. Welcome. I hope that the music is not very loud, but we can see some really good move happening in the market. A bit of lower in volume, so looking to see that what actually the market is doing at the moment. If you look at here, there is a stronger rejection of this zone here, so waiting for everyone to show up here in trading, and then we will be looking at entry to see where the market is heading. Welcome. Okay, so here we are progressing towards the next session here. Welcome back to this live trading session here, traders. Thanks for joining and beginning really another, I would say, that very big week here, and we see that some kind of really strangely the market is moving at the moment. A little strange. There is some kind of spread widening. We see there is how about the volume with other instrument here on euro dollar. We looked at the volume today. Gold has been dumping hard today. Is the manipulation or something else? So we will be looking at especially the volume here. Gold is, let's understand that what actually the market is trying to do here. If you look at that, there is a new monthly candlestick pattern close, right? That has closed yesterday, and now there is, if you look at this market is extended, and what is potentially we could see here that the price is, if you look at this drop, okay, so here is the way the market structures form along the way. Okay, this is a possible for a deeper pullback during this uncertain situation. The market really moves like that, and that's the rhythm of the market. Let me show you something here, then you guys will be able to see that actually why the market is moving that way and what we can do in this situation here. All right, so do you see this 2 monthly candlestick pattern? I was trading during that time as well. If you guys looked at, I was trading for a very long period of time. This is 2022, right? Have anyone here traded during this time period? This is the pandemic candlestick pattern. Okay, so these 2 months, these 2 candlestick pattern on gold formed during the pandemic. Anyone here the coronavirus time during this? So if you looked at this price section, you can see that this is doji, right? Monthly doji, and in this whole movement that you can see, yeah, okay, so I was trading during that. If you look at this, this move, the overall gold movement that you can see here, and in this whole move that you can see, the market has created an uptrending market structure that you can see here, right? And with this uptrending market structure, we see that there is a narrow long wick doji from the monthly here, and that long wick doji that you can see is during this pandemic. And usually in a time of uncertainty, the market will less likely to follow the grammar, right? So we have our grammar, so which is the mathematics, right? So grammar, if you look at that, as this is the monthly open, there is a rejection, because there is another reason that you can see DXY is having a very stronger move here on. At the moment you can see DXY also rejected back to the upside here in this market. Gold is such a precious metal. If you look at the overall, it's not gonna be very cheap, that you can be sure of that. So therefore, coming down on gold might create a new trading opportunity for us. So you'll be only looking for buying for the long-term picture. But short-term, if you see that there is a selling opportunity, also you are going to look at this market here that you can see on gold. Now you can see that from this level, from this here, this is entirely broken back below. All right, so if you look at here, this is the overall picture in this market. And from this zone that you can see, the market has broken entirely back below. And with that break below, here is the daily price action from this. Okay, and the market has entirely broken back below at the moment. So this drop that we can see currently on gold, I don't think still it's a reversal. So do you agree that? Share your thought. Do you think it's reversal or a pullback? How many of you think that it's a reversal? How many of you think that it's just a pullback? So I'm also starting a poll here. So I am posting a poll. Let's see that how many of you think that it's reversal. How many of you think that it's a pullback? Okay. So here is the poll. Let's see that. And with this movement, as with it from this high that you can see, the market has done a bigger move. Now, what we could see, this is my personal opinion, that if you look at So if you look at, this is the weekly move of this support here that you can see. Now, what we can see here in this area, that there is with a pin bar here that you can see. And with this pin bar, there is a potential for an upside bias here in that market. Now the market has just crossed this weekly low that you can see in that area. And because the market has crossed this weekly low, and also this is the daily support where the market has crossed this low and then bounced back to the upside here. Now, this is the move that I'm looking at. It's entirely broken back below. And 1 hour price action also significantly larger drop. From the 15 minutes and the lower time frame here that you can see, the market is in this movement here. Hi to you, thank you very much. Okay, now so we had an earlier one trade in that area, if you looked at from this support level, and that you have successfully closed. Now looking at, if you look at this kind of movement happens, if you look at this kind of movement happen in a market that requires more liquidity, usually this kind of drop that you can see is a preparation for another move. Why? Drop is a healthy, like healthy movement in the market. Why? Because when there is a drop, it's becoming again ready for buy. Because if the market is not dropping and keep pushing up, that's not a good market for trading. So it's now actually preparing for another good market to invest on, to trade on, to go long. So this drop that you can see is actually a preparation for buying. And that's why if you look at some of the greatest investor of all time said that be greedy when people are fearful. That's the philosophy of trading and investing. Be fearful when people are greedy. So this move that you can see on gold is a response to fear. And if you see that the market is going without any break, that's a response to greed. So now it's coming down. It's a good market to trade on, because gold, if you look at here, when this weekly or daily move happened, when the market was here, it didn't have any reference point, right? That means this price was never been reached there. So the trader or investor didn't have an understanding of how big this price is or how high this price is. Because if you want to measure a high, you need a low, right? That's the paradox. Without low, you can't get a high, right? You need a low to understand the high, right? It's everything is relative. Now, if you look at here, now it already created a high, 5600. So now we can compare it or understand it in relation to the high where the market is at, and it will attract new investors to open or buy this instrument. All right, so if you look at, this is a pullback, and that pullback might bring a new trading opportunity here for us to look at this. Now, as the market has dropped, you can see this is now forming a potentially a W, and we might see now after a deeper pullback, it might be getting ready for another buying opportunity. Hello everyone, thank you very much. So therefore, looking for an entry, as you see there is a drop in volume a little bit earlier at the moment where it is heading at the with that looking at. You're looking to see that if you look at this is the 1 hour price action and candle closing, which is what you can see the market may create a new trading opportunity here in that market. This is interesting market structure that you can see here. And for us to be able to look for an entry, I'm looking at an entry on a pullback. Okay, so you will be waiting for a deeper pullback here. This market structure that you can see here and also here, both of this area is in fact, this zone here is highly buying pressure. In this area there is one doji, the market has crossed that low, and we have seen another liquidity grab. So the current level of support that you can look for possible long opportunity here from this zone here as soon as it appears that suitable market structure. Here is the looking at that level here of this support level, and in that support here, that looking for the market to show up a possible entry opportunity here in that market. And daily time frame, 1 hour time frame. Yep, yes, we are looking at the multiple time frame analysis. Okay, so if you look at the daily, the market has today a broken back below. Now that break below is in fact a possibility for us to look for an entry here in that market. Okay, so if you look at lower time frame, the market had a deeper pullback, which is a higher possibility for the market to show us in that area an entry. So this movement, the price in a channel, and of this channel expecting that to drop down back below of this support and then to return back to the upside here in that market. And this is what we are looking at in this market structures, to give us an entry opportunity and to give us the market to drop down further below before we look for that entry opportunity. And there is a key support level here in that area, and with this key support level that you will be looking for the market to show up, the price to show a clear price action confirmation before we look for that entry. And I hope that you guys enjoying the live session that we do every single day. Make sure you don't miss out any of this content that I'm posting every day, and also visit the website www.forextradingwizard.com for more information about all the latest education as well as update that you can find. And now off this level, you could see the market to eventually drop down further back below, and from that zone here we'll be looking at entry. Here is the market. If you look at here, good day, welcome. Candle close, and we can see some rejection here back above. And welcome back to the live session, traders, and I hope that you are enjoying. Now what we are looking at here, an entry, and the way the market is showing here, the higher chance the price to potentially bounce back to the upside here in that area. And this is what we are looking at in that zone. If you look at, this is a long week candlestick pattern here, and with that long week candlestick pattern, they're expecting the market to eventually bounce back to the upside here in that area. And looking at this level, this is where there is a higher chance for the market, which is, and I would say that if you look at, this is a doji. Now you can see there is a narrower green candle. So the market is slowing down its downward pressure in that area. From the hour, we need a small retest to the weekly. Yes, that is what we can see here in that area. All right. So looking at the lower time frame. If you look at this is 1 hour candle, right? It is a pretty bigger long wick candlestick pattern that you can see. And with this pretty long wick bigger candlestick pattern, which is pretty big, right? And I think that now the market slowly might respect that long wick. There is a similarities that you can find of this one here, and it might try to form what I think a potential channel. Okay, so if it is forming that channel, usually the market moves like that. So here is the move that you can see. The market is in a, this is a range that you can see. It's maintaining that, you know, here is where a support, made it move, pull back to the support, made it move, pull back. This is a, it's still maintaining that major support, respecting that level. And here is that, this is the biggest move here in that area, leaving a pretty long wick here in this zone here. And that long wick might be now an opportunity for us to take a trade here. This is a big long wick, but the market is slowly ejecting off that. You can see that whenever it is breaking below, it's getting a reaction back to the upside. And this is multiple liquidity sweep here in that area. And 5 minutes bullish engulfer. The nearest key zone is here. I'm preparing for a potential entry once we see that the price has tested this support few more times. This is a 1 hour market structure. So the chances for the price to reject off this support level, because it is pretty lower price here that you can see. And that's what, if you look at here, right? Now here is the move that you can see, initial breakout, which is basically here that the market of this bounce back to the upside, expecting the price to go ahead and potentially cross this liquidity zone here in that area. Now this is our current support level, right? So you'll be looking for, there is a, if you look at this, this is the 1 minute chart, there's a pretty bigger bearish fair value gap, and that bearish fair value gap is what we can see that the market might go and fill that bearish fair value gap, and with that bearish feeling we will be looking at that entry. Now at the moment you see that the market is going back to the upside. We want to see that it deepens with the pullback before we look at any kind of entry here in that market. And I'm also waiting. Okay, so if you guys, quite a few votes, so we see that 57% think that reversal, 43% pullback. Now it's important that to look at also the higher time frame, lower time frame, but it's almost nearly to 50-50. So let's see that how the market reacts. Now the market is also reacting to the current event, right? This is the news event. All right, are you guys following every headline? There's pretty okay, so the market is really reacting to the current situation. Okay, so now we have see there is a significant breakout that you can see now. For us to be able to look for that entry, as the market is pushing back again, as I mentioned earlier, during those kind of time period, the market usually moves without any grammar, right? So grammar is for maths, right? You need to know the grammar to not learn the maths. So the market usually is maths or English for grammar. So can we sell at this level? No, it's now pushing back to the upside. Okay, so I have some good feedback. Good day, welcome. On 1 minute, there is one single move to the upside. We can see a drop back to the support, which can be a good area to buy. Thought, okay. Usually, when we see that one single move, everything, traders, keep in mind that everything is after the trend. So what do I mean by this? For example, head and shoulder, okay, after the trend, double top or double bottom, after the trend. A single move also after the trend. So what does that mean? It means that when single moves is for the break from the trend, then we will be trading that. Now if you look at this single move, is actually in the direction of the trend, right? Here is the trend now. Okay, so it's in the trend. I understand that what you mean. That means that if it is straight drop here, then it's a buy. Absolutely, it's a good area to buy. Even if, let's say, the market didn't move single move to the upside, but drop with a single move, also it's a buy. So we will be looking at usually break from the trend needed to be with a single move, so that we can look for trading in the direction of the trend. So trend is the non-conditional aspect of the entry, and the rest of the factors has to be conditional to the trend. So what do I mean by this? Let's say there's no condition for the trend. The trend has to be in the direction that we want to trade in. And then for entry, we want to see the break in the direction of the trend. So the break has to be conditional to the trend. Entry criteria also in the same way has to be conditional to the trend. That means you want to see a bullish or bearish engulfer forming the direction of the trend. So in each entry criteria, we are mentioning a trend, but when we are mentioning the trend, we are not mentioning other criteria. This is becoming complex to think of, but should be fine, right? When you will be entering. And in the meantime, have you liked this stream? Make sure you like it, and also don't miss out to subscribe to the channel. Good day. Yeah, thank you very much. I have observed that most of the time that if price is bearish from the 13 to 14 SST, the next hour will be bullish up to the opening price of the previous hour and vice versa. I have observed that most of the time that the price is bearish. If you have observed that, probably because I didn't observe in that way, but there are many things that can happen. Okay, so it might be something really interesting that I would encourage you to look at more few more days, few more time, and see if this is something really working. There are few factors could be that probably during that time period check some of the other factors. For example, is this any session open or close? This is one question. Is this any session open or close? One thing. That could be usually, thank you, usually the market should be following the technical analysis. Okay, so that means, let's say if we trade only based on time dependency, it may not be always, and I don't think the market will follow this kind of pattern, but as I mentioned, it's you have to look at it more time. But from my experience, what I know that there will never be market will move without, with violating the technical analysis. So the market cannot violate the technical analysis. So what will happen is that the time dependency give us the probabilistic increment. What do I mean by this? For example, let's say you saw that a bullish engulfer in the direction of the trend. Okay, now when you see the bullish engulfer, you're gonna buy, for example, in the direction of the trend. Now sometime you will see that even it form a bullish engulfer, the market drop, so you hit a stop loss. It can happen. In some cases, bullish engulfer form, you bought, the market has gone up to your profit target. So this criteria has to be the same. That bullish engulfer, for example, and you're gonna go long. So then why are you need to look at the timing, other sentiment, fundamental, is because to increase the probability of this bullish engulfer to go to the profit target. So the technical cannot be changed. Technical is same, but other factors increase your probability of this to happen. So for example, if you randomly buy a bullish engulfer whenever it is forming and take 1000 trade, and you probably end up, if you keep 1:1, you end up probably 55% win rate. Whenever it is forming bullish engulfer, you are. But if this bullish engulfer, only if you see that the first 15 minutes of the session open, that is a London session open or an OS session open, only in that period, if this happen, then you open buy. Only in that period, and then take 1000 trade, and then probably end up seeing that you are 75% of the time you are winner. So the same criteria, same settings, only because you have changed some timing criteria, your probability of winning has increased. That means here out of 100 trade you win 55, here out of 100 trade you win 75. So that's the advantage of having the time dependency, but the technical is same. Okay, now the market has moved a lot in that direction that you can see, and we are progressing towards the sessions open and a session coming up. Okay, so it's forming a mini head and shoulder in the mini is a very smaller, but we could see that now potentially deeper pullback in that area here, and that might bring that market well below here. That we will be looking to see if the market is coming down for a deeper pullback, and then we will be looking at that entry in this market. Thank you, welcome. Is today's case, I looked at M1 and it was overextended and then have divergence. It went down at 14 to sweep liquidity, and I entered after a bullish candle. Yeah, so with a liquidity sweep, entering is the best way to trade, because when you see the liquidity sweep, you are having that the higher possibility for the market to give you an entry, right? So because with the liquidity sweep, you will have the more probability that the smart money is coming in the market. With this bullish engulfer here on the lower time frame, from the 15 minutes perspective, we see there is a very narrow doji is being formed here. So there might be here again another deeper pullback in that area. That's what I'm looking at. I am now out for 50 pip bagged. Okay, 450 pip is quite a bit up. It's good. We had earlier one trade during the London session, if you looked at in the premium group, that I was sent out from this area, and that was what I'm explaining here. I think so the trade was sent out in the premium group and bringing it here. And usually I encourage you to look at all those trades that I'm sending in the premium group. So this one we bought at 5266, stop loss of 5238, because I had to put a bit of bigger stop loss because the market is, you see there is a bit of higher volatility. TP was set a bit very high, but when the market, creating a reversal pattern, that I have taken out 120 pip. Now this is very common that you'll see, especially trading XAUUSD gives higher volatility, which has given us the better possibility. And so the entry was 5266. So at this level that the trade was entered. Now if you look at that here, you see that there was a very sharp break below, followed by a straight bounce back to the upside, and the market is forming this kind of structure. So why I have opened this buy here, because I know that there might be again another drop, but it's still, the reason the buy was open is the rejection here is very high. So that's why if you see that excessively bigger drop and then immediate rejection, pullback, it's a sign of another bounce. So I'm repeating again. So if you see that vertical drop, okay, so let me tell you, you see that these are some very subtle things that you can pay attention. Most people will not pay attention. See, there are many ways the market can drop. You see the market, if the market drop with around the 45-degree angle and then going for a pullback, chances for another drop. See, these are very, very, it's you even won't be able to relate it with any kind of formal understanding, but if you pay attention you'll see that happening over and over again. So 45-degree angle in a downtrend and then have a pullback. Okay, chances that it's gonna drop again because the market is in a downtrend. But if you see that, let's say a market has straight drop like this, nearly to vertical, big drop. Okay, now followed by it is still very high chance that it's gonna drop again, right? If you see that like this smaller pullback like that, it's gonna drop again, very high chance. But however, if you see that like this, a huge vertical drop followed by a stronger back again, okay, almost more than half or nearly to half, and then doing like that, it's very difficult for this market to drop again. It's a higher chance it's gonna go back again to the upside. So that is the strategy we used here for this entry. And as soon as I have shared open, I also have shared that trade in the premium group. Okay, for those who have joined, make sure you also stay connected to the premium Telegram group, where I'm also sharing all my education as well as trade ideas, regular analysis. And if you want to join the also premium group, you can find link below this video. Visit the website www.forextradingwizard.com to become part of this trading community. Thank you very much. I got 300 pip after price retested, rejected Asian low. Yep. Now here is what you can see. Market from this level, you see it straight bounce back to the upside, reach that key level. Some of the message automatically deleted, but anyway. Sell zone and next buy zone around 5040. $30 candle close, and there's a sessions opening coming, right? Coming up, NY session open. Now this is what the 30 minutes price section here, 30 minutes bullish and golfer, that you can see in that area. And off that 30 minutes price section, from this support level, you are looking for, now if we see that further confirmation, we will be looking at going long in this market. Okay, we might be able to find a potential entry here in this market. We want to see that, you see this is the multiple breakdown, false breakout, signaling that there is a higher chance now here to move even further back to the upside. But from here we want to see that a major swing low is broken to see or to go long for this market. It's breaking the low. But you can see the market slowly creating a structure. Here in this area, if we see the price has shown that enough confirmation, we will be looking for an entry back here. All right, so I'm preparing for a possible entry. As you can see, the market is rejecting from this key support level, and the market may here potentially remain uptrending. That means that upside here. Now, any pullback below can give us, if you look at here, currently the price is rejecting back to the upside. And we'll be looking to see the market to show up its pattern in that area. Okay, so the market structure showing to be upside in that area, and potentially we could look for any entry. And there is, if you look at, this is a significant bearish fair value gap on the 5-minute chart, which is a void, and that might be going to fill. So therefore, with this 15 minutes candlestick pattern that we see the closing in 2 minutes time, we are not going to see that pullback again, or you could see that bounce back to the upside here in that market. Here's the move. We might see the market to break back to the upside here in that area. And the current support as 5188. If we see there is another breakup structure here, we will be looking for that going long in this market. Welcome. And in the meantime, traders, if you haven't liked this stream, make sure you do so, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So a few more questions that sells on. Okay, a deeper pullback is needed, I think, before any other upside. Yes, this is what we are waiting for, that deeper pullback. Entry for sell or buy, where you looking gold ahead today? We are looking for potentially bullish entry as the market is in this upside now. We saw that there was a breakup structure, and we discussed that this breakup structure is basically during this time of uncertainty, the market moves like that. And this is kind of movement happened. We saw that during the pandemic in 2020. All right, so now with this one here that you can see on now, if you look at here, that's where we can see the market is slowly breaking that low. All right, and that break below can bring a possible entry here in this market. Having to look at the market to break down further below. Still, I see, if you look at here, it may deepen further below here for this deeper pullback, and that can bring a new trading entry opportunity here. If you look at, this is 30 minutes price, 15 minutes closed with a narrow long doji. Now this doji, if you look at here, from the 15 minutes, from this level here, creating a series of higher low, right, on the 15 minutes. So breaking below can bring another trading opportunity for us here in that area. All right, so looking at in that level to see that how the market may create a structure here in that area. This is what we are looking at in this area, looking for the market to break below. And we see the market is breaking out of this level, potentially maintaining this as a support. But you are looking to see the market to come down further here. Awesome. Good to see that all of you are really interested, and this is what you need to see. Okay, from a 4-hour perspective, there is a massive wick. It should come retest it before any other move. Okay, good question. Now, let me tell you one very important point, traders. When you see that massive wick, usually when it is too long, it doesn't come to test the low, very rarely. Too long wick represents reversal. Let me show you in the past. It's not certain, but I'm talking about the probabilistic perspective. So if you look at when there is this kind of long wick here, this rarely happens. Usually when you see that too long wick, that rarely happens. There is one big long wick, the market reverse. Even if it wants to come for, let's say, a retest like this long wick, you see that the market, the next session, this is the 4-hour time frame, when this kind of such a big long wick happened, the next hour, even it didn't create any wick at the bottom, it reversed to the upside. So too long wick represents a reversal. Even later it might come for retest. So therefore, if we consider the same thing here also, when it is too long wick, it usually here also the same thing. When there is too long wick, it reverses. Here also same thing, but here it didn't break that far. So each situation is different, but this long wick, what you can see, it is possible that it's gonna drop a lot, but still we have 2 hours for this candle, almost half of the life of this candle. If the market close above this order block, this is an order block here. If the market close above this order block, there is a very high chance the market will bounce back, or at least one more green candle or sideways market before it eventually break that low here. That is what we can see, the 15 minutes price action. Now this 15 minutes candle closing here as a narrow doji will create an opportunity for going long back to the upside. We still have 10 minutes for this candle to close, and also it will be a session opening if you look at the 1-hour price action. And with that session opening, looking for a buy entry. Thank you very much. And looking at some what we can see that WTI might be getting pretty volatile here. Chandra Sri Sen. Okay, here the market is form a triple top, which might be sometime represents possible reversal, but I think that if you look at this 15 minutes candle closing in 6 minutes time, and after this candle close, if it isn't in a big drop here, the chances that you could see upside. However, there is a significant downside happen, the market might move back to the upside. However, now let's look at understand that also, you know, why the market is moving in the way it is moving, right? It's important to look at how the market is doing, right? So during this time period, how will, you know, especially in those time period, trading is a very important, that especially the short-term trading is easy, right? Because there's a lot of volatility and you can predict the market for the short-term perspective. And in those periods, usually, you know what, if you look at the pandemic situation, it's going back to that here before the candle close. Look at what happened during the pandemic, okay? And that bottom during that pandemic is still intact, right? The market is still maintaining that situation. So this doji formed during that that pandemic, and then if you look at this one here, this is the Russia-Ukraine situation here when it begins. So these two candlestick pattern, if you look at, and then the market has dropped a lot later and reverse again back to the upside. So usually what I see that when this kind of crisis happen, the market form a kind of doji or a pin bar or doji, is because that what I have seen, that the price usually come back to where it started due to lack of sight. Okay, lack of sight means that the investor not getting any certainty. Traders or investor, they don't know what to do, so it's confusion in the market, and that's why there is a panic buying and selling happen. And that is the reason why the market goes up and down, at the end of the day it closes in the same place where it started, like in news time, right? You see that most of the news time the market dies, that goes up and down, and then close where it started. During the FOMC also it happens because of the data. So here see there is a breakout. I was waiting for an entry, the candle closed, the market managed to break back to the upside here. Okay, there is still fair value gap here. The chances for the market 5262 is higher than where we can enter. I think wicks eventually get filled or partially filled as they represents imbalance. I usually go by the 50% of the wick should be tested. 50% usually tested, but it depends also on the trend. As both high and low of the previous week, tomorrow will be interesting. Tomorrow, this week, even until this uncertain situation getting certain, every day will be different. Okay, so there might be very unpredictable movement, unusual volatility. Is the power of trading, right? It's gonna be happening every single day. So is the loud music? Let's make it slower. There is a breakout, and also you can see there is if you look at this is the 1 hour candle close, also the sessions opening. So there is a smooth rejection, and the market is almost to the 4 hour resistance line. And usually you see that this breakup structure can be a preparation for massive breakout. Okay, anything, but the symptom looks to me that it's a pure that like taking more energy for a bigger move back to the upside here. And so if you look at here, it's coming back below, and I'm looking for, anytime I will be looking for an entry. Okay, as you drop down. Okay, so I will be looking to go long of this market at the moment, buy the market from that level. It's in a very low area, and we'll keep the stop loss below this low, taking TP target at this level here. All right, so going long, of course with risk management, and no trade without risk management. It's very important, traders. And putting stop loss here at this level at 5177. Take profit target setting at 5244. My entry is here actually. I need to move the stop loss a little bit because I entered very low. So my entry here at, I think everyone's same, 5192.64. So keeping the stop loss a little lower here to adjust that movement. So keep moving the stop loss at 5169. All right, so up open buy. The market may, if it reverse, then reverse will be re-entering again. It's a very tight entry because there is a stronger liquidity sweep here, and expecting that short-term move. If it goes up here, very excessively bigger target. 520. If it breaks below, then I will be out. We'll be looking for another entry. However, we can see there is, if it breaks down, as I mentioned, during the wartime, the market remain little bit of uncertain. If it get too uncertain, then we will be looking for another entry. Here is the market has broken that support. My stop loss at 5169.00, and all right, so let's wait to see what's happening. If it breaks below, we'll take the stop loss because I don't want to over risk. I will be re-entering again as soon as it appears. All right, here's the support. If it eventually break from that, then we might see boom going back to the upside, and I will be even happy to take 300 pip profit target if it reach there. All right, so let's wait to see how far it goes. This is the 5-minute candle close that you can see. I might get out, but my risk is very low. Still on. Still on. See that what's happening. Any breaking news? News is now a big factors for the market to move on. So it's a part of trading now, right? Sentiment. Any breaking news? Can you mention here? It's trying to push back up. Do you see any breaking news? Awesome. Okay. I got to stop out to take the loss here. That's okay. One trade, and now it might just bounce off this level here, guys. Let's say that we might be re-entering again. Minus 230. That's fine. There's significant volatility, and to re-enter, you want to make sure that you are entering the right direction. All right, so here is this break below. It might come back for another retest. It's the 4-hour level. This sudden drop doesn't look to me very right way to drop. Straight bounce back to the swing high, so downside is high probability, isn't it? Okay, I usually do buy 50% of. Now here it was potentially a fake out, and it's in that direction now, in this direction. So this might now try to come here. That's massive move. Okay. Now, how this 5 minutes candle closing is important to look at, to see that, because the market has significant imbalance in that direction. I keep coming down here. Okay, so here it's on a pullback, and looking at right, traders? So here I'm looking at a sell opportunity of this level, keeping stop loss again above this swing high here with nearly to 260 pip stop loss, keeping TP target to this support level. And this is also the risk managed entry for this potential move back. Expecting it to break below here. The market left significant imbalance in that direction. Placed another entry here in that area and looking for the market to give that downside movement of this level. Here's the move. We want to take a move here, guys, so that we can neutralize the previous trade and also potentially getting some new profit. Market left imbalance in that direction, and if it breaks below, we might see straight down back below to this support level. Okay, so how many of you think that the market will drop? Let me know in the live chat, or let us know. And not only me, everyone is looking at. So how many of you think that the market will how does one trade gold with XAUUSD? What do you mean by that? Can I buy at this price section? I'm selling at the moment for short term. As I mentioned, the market is pretty interesting here at the moment. We can see there is a significant volatility, which the market is moving a little bit of uncertainly, that I would say that unpredictably. So whenever we see that there is a drop, we are looking for sell at the moment. And because there is big head and shoulder, large head and shoulder, they're expecting the market to deepen further here. But as I mentioned, it can be in any direction here. So after this big drop, it is to me less likely the market to be able to bounce back to the upside here at the moment, but it's still entirely possible. And that's why you see that keep a tight stop loss in this volatile market. Okay, now this is a pretty long pin bar, a doji is being formed, and that candle was important because this is closing as a big red or a rejection candle. Really interesting to see that. The 5 minutes candle close with another. It's really unusual movement. Really, the market is from the 1 minute has got okay, so it reached this resistance here, and this entry is basically a drop pullback for potentially another lower low. And with this current 1 minute candlestick pattern close back below, it's almost nearing to the entry. Now the 5 minutes price action here, drop pullback. Are you going to see another new lower low? Okay, so the 1 minute price action waiting for a possible entire break below, and if it breaks below, in fact leaving it as a liquidity grab or stronger liquidity grab, they're expecting this market to trend down here back below, and I'm on it looking to see that coming down back for another rejection. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's breaking below now. I'm holding on to that. Yeah, another waterfall coming. Okay, so if it is coming waterfall, then we are on the slide, right? So let's see that how far it drops down back below. We are on the slide. Now this is a one form of head and shoulder, and (15 minutes) price action that you can see. If it now this is where that we are taking the risk here a little bit. If it breaks below, this is what we are looking at. If it still can go up for deeper liquidity grab, But if it breaks below, we might see that coming to 5070 level. So that's gonna be almost significantly bigger move if it breaks below. Okay, so if it breaks below, we could see almost 600-700 pip downside here. However, it still can go up for deeper liquidity gap even here, and then can continue to drop. We are at entry. Forming a pretty narrow long week candle, which is very interesting. Does gold want to test 5100 before push up? 5100, I think so. We can see still there is a downtrend, and there is 5100, and I would say if it drops, it might retest 500. Okay, 5070 or even lower, because this is a head and shoulder. If it drops down here, we might see a new lower low in that direction. See, this is a head and shoulder, so if it drops down, it is not unusual to see the market coming below 5070, either to revert back again or creating a new lower low. So at the moment, we are betting that the market to drop again back below. Okay, here is the market moving in that direction, and in the way here you can see the market has formed also the 1 minute head and shoulder at our entry. Right, so what we're looking at. And in the meantime, traders, if you're enjoying, make sure you like this stream. Did you do that? And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell so that you're not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. Let us know if there is any what the market doing that way. Do you know anything what's happening? Share your current knowledge about what is happening in the market, why the market is moving in this way. Anyone has any additional? Okay, that's what we are looking at. Okay, here the market structure here showing there is a possibility for further downside. Very interesting market. So it's being formed very narrow area, that is here in this area that the market is trading at the moment. Okay, we are seeing a 15 minutes candle close and also a 30 minutes candle close here, and now there is 30 minutes long wick here. Are you going to see the wick fill below, or it's trying to push back again? Market move very unusually. Now with the 30 minutes, this is what I'm looking to see if there is wick fill. The 30 minutes candle, that the red candle closed with a big body, which is to be filled, right? Downside to be filled. Okay. This is what we're looking to see. Awesome. It rejected back below here. Now, so far we saw this much came, and if it deepens further here, this is where you will be looking at near the entry. Problem is market don't create LIS. I think it's up. So let's see that what's happening. Might range a little bit. Doesn't look to me very strongly bearish. Here only thing that we can do is to wait to see what kind of market structure forming. Okay, this might now break below. Okay, so the market tested both 10 and 20 EMA, has dropped down, pullback. If it drops down, still I'm hoping for, not hoping, looking for. You can't hope in trading. That's the interesting thing. When we are having a Zoom session, coach, of course, over the weekend and also regularly, there is a link always given in the channel. So if you look at, don't miss out the Zoom classes. There is exclusive education being discussed every single day, and also regular analysis and update also posted in the group. But if there changes the trend, then upside. Okay, cool. Now here you see the market is really interestingly moving. It's rejected again, and now this can be massive drop back below here. All right, so what's going on? Problem is market don't create. Okay, we see that it dropped back down below again. All right, so near the entry, my entry was a little late, so I had to, still in a minus. But I think there might be that it's coming back below 5147, because this breakup structure looks still downside, so I'm still holding on to that. Struggling a little bit here. Bit of struggling for the market to drop. This look like it's again pushing back up. If it drops, it might be impulse drop. I think so. I agree. If it drops, it might be sudden drop. Sudden means that straight bounce back below to the support, and chances that the way so far here created the price action, it is here lower time frame bearish. I'm not talking about the higher time frame. So far here lower time frame bearish, but let's see that what the market does. In our previous trade didn't follow the pattern, right? Just for a little bit. Now this one, so far we are on the flow, that means in the direction. We can see that downside move. Okay, so Okay. Now in the profit area. Cool, cool. I'm holding on to that. That's the drop that we are talking about. So I want to really see the previous trade. This is the first thing that you need to know. It's a pretty big bearish engulfer. Look at the 4 hour, 15 minutes form a bearish engulfer here, which is eventually could lead that market back below to the support. All right, so I'm holding on to the traders. We see that some downside move here and expecting it to continue to trend. And if you look at here below this support, there is an imbalance to up to 5100. So that eventually could come down back below. Here is the move. Here is the drop that we are looking at. Loving to see that market is coming down. You with me? The last moment of bounce. So we are seeing that there is a big move on DXY. Alright, so you can see DXY is having that rejection back here in that area, which is DXY. If you look at that, there is a big bullish momentum on DXY. So gold and DXY started to follow the chemistry now. That means when DXY is going up, gold is coming down. And here is the downtrend, right? This is now coming down and I'm holding on to the trade. Okay, we are on it. It's moving. 317 pip running profit now at the moment. We're going to hold on to that. Okay, I'm holding on to that. You might be able to take bigger profit on that. This is how trading is, guys. You won't be able to win all the trades, but when you win, you take big more than what you have lost, and that's how you can keep always in the profit areas. Here's the move that you can see. The market is heading to that level, showing up that there is possibility for the further downside here. And all right, so anytime I'm going to close, I'll give a shout out here to let you know that I'm closing. We are seeing still the possibility for some move. As long as it's dropping, I'm holding on. It's a really big trade and I embrace it. Awesome. It's coming down. And I hope that you guys enjoying. Make sure you like this stream, subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate your support. And also, if you want to learn more about my strategy, all the trading system tools, also don't miss out to check out the link in the description. Here's what you can see at the moment. This trade almost nearly to 380 pip. Now, I'm going to exceed this trade very soon. Still on it because I want it's on a very crucial level at the moment. Okay, I'm exiting the current entry. Thank you very much. I've taken profit. Awesome. I've taken profit here. That's 370 pip. Nearly. Exactly, I don't calculate, but just nearly. All right, so that's interesting, right? That's interesting. Can you share a PNL? Of course, why not? I do share in the premium group, you guys look at. I'd like to bring the whole week. So I think this screenshot didn't come. At this, and as charge my, all right, so it has bounced for a pullback, and we are looking at this level here for another rejection. So if you look at here, the market is slowly, after this long week, we see that it's now feeling that. So in this area that you can see, there is a very higher probability for the market to come back down here. Okay. So we are progressing to the candle close. Now it will be good area. I don't think so. It's still falling market. I don't think still a buy area. If you look at the market, is still showing a possibility to come down here. The bigger red candle, downtrend, head and shoulder, the possibility for still bearish. All right, so if you look at this is the 1 hour price action for gold, right? This 1 hour candlestick pattern also showing that this might be potentially a downtrend or sideways. So if you look at this 5 minutes candlestick pattern also showing that there is a significant bearish movement here in that market. So we are looking here for sell as soon as we can find suitable entry again. Stay hungry, as I mentioned yesterday as well. Are you guys hungry for new trade? It's a great session, isn't it? Looking for more? We are seeing that this 5 minutes candlestick pattern slowly building here a little momentum. What you could see now here, the market left that imbalance in the direction. So chances that we might see break and then continuation back below here. And don't miss out all the analysis that I'm posting every single day, so that you are not missing any of the content that I'm sharing in the group. What is the entry? Entry we have done. We have taken the profit here. And now it's on a, if you look at, this is a pullback on the 30 minutes candle closing, and also the 1 hour. Pretty large candlestick pattern that you can see is being closed here. And with this candle close, The 1 hour market structure that you can see here has created a pretty big bearish long wick candlestick pattern that could eventually create a downward price action, downward pressure here, and that might bring that market well below what I think. There's a higher chance for the price to now eventually reflect back below the 1 hour. Sliding back down. So whenever the market is going up here, showing that there is a higher chance from the seller, the market, to push that back below. What are you looking to see? Looking to see that potential perspective here for the market to come for another a deeper pullback here, or for the market to go back again to the resistance line in this area. And from the lower time frame that we can see, this is also the 1 hour candle close with a pretty big red candle. So therefore chances for this market to retest this low. So therefore our bias is still bearish in this lower time frame. And what could be the potential pressure here in the market? What do you think? So there has been the market reached that key level, and it's very interesting to see how the market is showing up in this area. At this point, what we can see the traders, that there is significant deeper pullback coming, and still the lower time frame market structure is bearish. We had two successful trades in this live session. One successful trade, one stop loss, but the one that we have won was a very good one. We have successfully closed with profit, the big one, and now looking for the more entry later today. As also in our premium group, we had earlier one trade, also was successfully closed. Now looking for more entry later today. And I hope that you enjoyed this live session. I'm coming on live again shortly in our second session later. And in the meantime, traders, make sure you don't miss out to any of the link you can find below this video for advanced education, trade entry, as well as don't miss out to also the subscribe to the channel for more updated education as well as analysis that I'm posting every day. Thank you for joining in. I'll see you again very soon, trading live. Until that, stay well, stay happy.